June 5, 1944, 11:47 p.m., somewhere in England. A Spanish man sits at a radio transmitter, furiously typing Morse code. His fingers are shaking. Not from fear, from rage. His message to Nazi Germany is essentially screaming in dots and dashes. Where were you? I had critical intelligence. The invasion is starting, and you weren't listening. The man's name is Juan Pujol García. The Nazis know him as Agent Arabelle, their most valuable spy in Britain. What the Nazis don't know, Juan is working for the British. Every message he sends is designed to destroy them, and tomorrow morning, 156,000 Allied soldiers will storm the beaches of Normandy, the largest amphibious invasion in human history. D-Day. Juan's job tonight: convince Hitler's generals that Normandy is a distraction, that the real invasion is coming somewhere else, somewhere that doesn't exist. If he fails, thousands of additional Allied soldiers will die. The radio crackles. Finally, the Germans respond. We're listening now. Juan smiles, takes a breath, and begins typing the most important lie of World War II. But to understand how a Spanish chicken farmer with zero training became the most successful double agent in history, we need to go back to a childhood between two worlds. 1919, Barcelona, Spain. 7-year-old Juan Pujol García doesn't fit anywhere. His father owns a textile factory. Liberal, secular, believes in progress and reason. His mother is deeply Catholic, believes in obedience and tradition. At dinner, his father argues for workers' rights. His mother argues for church authority. Young Juan sits between them, learning the most important skill of his life: how to survive between two systems that hate each other. At age 7, his parents send him to a Catholic boarding school run by Marist monks. Strict rules, constant discipline, prayer before every meal. Juan hates it, gets into fights, argues with teachers. Eventually, one teacher humiliates him in front of the class. Juan walks out, never comes back. At 13, he's working in a hardware store. No high school diploma, no connections. Just a kid who's good at talking to people and figuring out what they want to hear. He picks up languages naturally: Catalan from home, Spanish from the streets, French from customers, later English from books. But languages aren't his real skill. His real skill is reading people, understanding what they believe, then becoming whatever they need him to be. This skill saves his life during the Spanish Civil War. 1936. Spain tears itself apart. Fascist versus Republicans. Brother against brother. Juan gets drafted by the Republicans. They throw him in prison for coming from a bourgeois family. His crime? Having a father who owned property. Later, he ends up in Franco's nationalist army. They beat him for having Republican sympathies. Both sides abuse him. Both sides suspect him. Both sides are partially right and completely wrong. By the time the war ends in 1939, Juan has learned something crucial. Ideology kills people, but a man without ideology can survive anything. Then World War II starts, and Juan makes a decision that changes history. 1941, Lisbon, Portugal, neutral territory. Juan walks into the British embassy with a proposal. He wants to be their spy. The embassy official barely looks up from his paperwork, asks about intelligence training. Juan has none. Military experience? Just a conscript who hated every moment. Contacts in Germany? Zero. The official asks what exactly Juan offers. Juan pauses, searching for the right word. Finally says, imagination. The official shows him the door. Juan tries 3 more times over the following weeks. 3 more rejections. The British think he's either crazy or a German plant trying to infiltrate their operations. So Juan does something insane. He goes to the Germans instead. He walks into the German embassy in Madrid, introduces himself as a Spanish nationalist who despises the British, claims to have business contacts in England, says he can travel there frequently and gather intelligence. The Abwehr, German military intelligence, is interested, but skeptical. They've seen plenty of amateur volunteers who promise everything and deliver nothing. They give him a test. They want proof he can operate covertly. They hand him a kit, invisible ink, a basic codebook, and written instructions on dead drops. No real training, no mentorship, no backup support. Just a simple directive: send us reports. Most amateur spies would fail immediately, caught at the first border crossing, exposed by the first mistake. Juan does something brilliant. He never goes to England. 1941 to 1942, Lisbon, Portugal. Juan Pujol García sits in a public library surrounded by British train schedules, tourist guidebooks to England, newsreel footage from movie theaters, British newspapers, days old but detailed, and a map of Liverpool. He's never been to Britain, has no intention of going, but he's about to convince Nazi Germany that he's their best agent in London. Think about what Juan is attempting. He's going to fake being a spy in a country he's never visited, using only publicly available information against the professional intelligence officers of Nazi Germany. It sounds impossible, but Juan understands something crucial. Most intelligence work is boring. Real spies don't break into secret laboratories. They read shipping manifests, count train cars, note which factories have lights on at night. So Juan's first report describes Liverpool's docks. He copies ship names from newspapers, adds fictional details about troop movements, makes it deliberately dull and bureaucratic because real intelligence reports are boring. He includes mundane observations. Weather was rainy, visibility poor, dock workers seem tired. The Germans love it. This feels authentic, not dramatic, not exciting, just tedious documentation. His second report invents a sub-agent, a Portuguese sailor who supposedly works on British merchant ships. Pure fiction. But Juan gives him a name, Jose, a backstory. Jose's brother was killed by communists in Spain, so he hates the British alliance with the Soviets. Why does Jose help the Nazis? Money. Simple. Believable. Most people betray their countries for boring reasons, like rent money. The Germans ask for more. Juan expands his network. Each fictional agent has a purpose. Agent 2 needs to be Swiss, neutral country, can travel freely. Make him a businessman. Boring, trustworthy. Agent 3 should be a Venezuelan student in Glasgow. Why Venezuelan? Because Juan can fake a Latin American accent if he ever needs to. Why a student? Students are broke, easy to recruit. Every detail has logic. Every lie has truth woven through it. Juan creates an entire network in his head. Agent 1, a Portuguese sailor. Agent 2, a Swiss businessman in London. Agent 3, a Venezuelan student. None of them exist, but Juan writes their reports anyway, gives them personalities, family problems, expenses. Then he makes a critical mistake that almost exposes him. He reports seeing a convoy leaving Liverpool heading north, even gives ship names and dates. He's piecing together information from multiple old newspapers, trying to create a plausible intelligence report. But he misses something. The information is outdated. By the time his report reaches Germany, that convoy has already reached port days earlier. The Germans send U-boats to intercept, submarines racing through dangerous waters, risking detection, expending fuel and resources. They find nothing. Empty ocean. No convoy. This should have been the end. The Germans should have realized either Arabelle is incompetent or he's fake. But Juan gets lucky, or maybe he's brilliant, because his mistake actually makes him more believable. The German intelligence officers look at the failed intercept and think his source information is good. The convoy was real. But communication delays made the intelligence arrive too late. They don't blame Juan, they blame logistics. And here's the genius part. Juan now has an excuse built into his cover. If future intelligence occasionally arrives too late, that's expected. It's a feature, not a bug. The Germans actually promote him, give him more money, tell him to recruit more sub-agents so they can get faster coverage. Juan just accidentally created the perfect system. Give accurate information that arrives too late to be useful. And if anyone questions the timing, blame communication difficulties. By mid-1942, the Germans are paying him £600 per month, roughly £30,000 in today's money, all for reports Juan writes in a Lisbon apartment, inventing intelligence from a country he's never visited. The Americans intercept one of his messages. They alert the British that the Germans have a prolific spy in England, codename Arabelle. You need to find this person. British counterintelligence investigates, checks all suspected German spies in Britain. They can't find Arabelle because Arabelle isn't in Britain. Then someone at MI5 has a wild thought. What if Arabelle is the Spanish guy who kept trying to volunteer? They track Juan down in Lisbon. This time, when he offers his services, they say yes. April 1942. Juan Pujol García arrives in England. MI5 assigns him a handler, Thomas Harris, an art dealer, wealthy, sophisticated, fluent in Spanish. Harris looks at Juan's imaginary network and realizes something. This isn't just one double agent. This is a weapon. Together, they expand the network. By 1944, Juan's fictional spy ring includes 27 people, 27 completely imaginary human beings. Each one has a full biography, hobbies, political beliefs, financial problems, medical issues. Agent 3, the Venezuelan student, hates his professors, drinks too much. Juan files expense reports for bar tabs. The Germans pay without question. Agent 4, the former soldier in Wales, has a gambling problem, owes money. That's why he's willing to commit treason, to pay debts. The Germans find this completely believable. When Agent 3's wife gets sick, Juan writes concerned letters about her condition, files expense reports for her doctor visits, even requests advance payment because the medical bills are piling up. The Germans send extra money immediately. When Agent 7 dies in combat, Juan writes a heartfelt memorial letter, describes how Agent 7 was killed during a bombing raid in Liverpool, how his widow is devastated, how she has 3 children to feed. Juan requests pension payments for the widow. The Germans approve it without hesitation. Juan pockets all of it. The British don't care. It's German money paying for British intelligence operations. But maintaining 27 fake identities is exhausting. This isn't just writing reports. Juan has to remember who knows whom in the network, who hates whom, which agents can travel where, who has access to what information, who's sick this week, who's fighting with their spouse, who needs money urgently. Juan keeps notebooks, charts, relationship maps. He's essentially running a fictional universe where consistency is life or death. The Germans conduct regular audits. They cross-reference reports, check for contradictions, test whether Agent 5's information matches Agent 2's observations from a different location. Juan passes every test. Because he's not just inventing intelligence, he's writing a coherent fictional world the Germans never suspect. Because Juan's greatest trick isn't the fake agents, it's the 98% truth. Most of his intelligence was completely accurate. Real ship movements, real troop locations, real equipment deployments. But it always arrived too late to matter. January 1943. Juan receives information from MI5 about a convoy scheduled to depart Glasgow on January 15th. Destination, North Africa, carrying tanks and ammunition. Juan confirms the information independently through newspapers. The convoy exists. The destination is real. He writes his report to the Germans on January 14th, but he doesn't send it immediately. He waits. January 16th. After the convoy has already left, he sends the report. My agent in Glasgow observed a major convoy departing January 15th, estimated 12 ships, heavy military cargo, heading south, likely Mediterranean. Everything in that report is true, but it arrives 24 hours too late. By the time German U-boats could respond, the convoy is already halfway to Gibraltar. The Germans read the report and think, excellent intelligence. Unfortunately, communication delays prevented us from acting on it. They never realize the delay is intentional. Juan does this systematically, week after week, month after month. Real convoy leaves Liverpool on March 3rd. Juan reports it on March 5th. Real troop movements through Dover on April 10th. Juan reports it on April 12th. Real aircraft deliveries to Scotland on May 20th. Juan reports it on May 22nd. Every single report is accurate. Every single report is useless. But this builds trust, massive trust. The Germans start to think, if only Arabelle could get his information to us faster, we could win the war. By 1943, Hitler's intelligence chiefs consider Arabelle their most valuable asset in Britain. They give him a salary increase, award him commendations, tell him to expand his network. They're paying premium prices for information that helps them 0%. But Juan isn't just building trust. He's building credibility for one specific purpose. Then Juan adds the poison. Mixed into his accurate but late intelligence, he starts including carefully crafted lies. My agent near Dover reports 15 new divisions assembling. Increased rail traffic suggests major buildup. Probable target, Pas de Calais. Lie. Those divisions don't exist. But the fake intelligence is surrounded by so much truth that the Germans believe it. When you've been right 98% of the time for 2 years, people believe the 2% lies without question. MI5 and Juan are playing a long game, building credibility for one specific moment: D-Day. June 5th, 1944, 11 p.m. Tomorrow, 156,000 Allied soldiers will land in Normandy. The largest seaborne invasion ever attempted. Years of planning. The fate of Europe. Juan Pujol García sits at his transmitter. His hands are shaking. Tonight, he has to send a message that will save thousands of Allied lives. But if he gets it wrong, if the Germans see through him, the entire invasion could fail. His MI5 handlers have given him his script, but the pressure is crushing. The plan, Operation Fortitude, is psychological warfare at scale. Make Hitler believe Normandy is a diversion. The real invasion is coming at Pas de Calais, 150 miles northeast. Keep German reserves away from Normandy. Juan's job, convince them with a message so perfect the Germans will never question it. At 11:47 p.m., he begins transmitting to his German handlers. But nobody responds. The German radio operator assigned to listen to Arabelle went home early. Juan keeps trying. Nothing. This is a disaster. If he can't get through tonight, his warning about the real invasion will come too late to be believable. So Juan does something brilliant. He gets angry. June 6, 1944, 3 a.m. D-Day has begun. Allied forces are landing in Normandy. German defenders are scrambling. Chaos everywhere. Finally, the German radio operator comes back online. Juan's message is furious. The anger is calculated, believable. A real spy would be livid at being ignored during the most important moment of the war. The German operator apologizes profusely, begs Arabelle to send his intelligence now. Juan sends the message MI5 prepared. My agents report the Normandy operation is a diversionary attack. The main invasion force, 50 divisions strong, is still in England. Target, Pas de Calais. Expect attack within days. 50 divisions. That's 750,000 soldiers. Completely fictional. But because Juan's network has been 98% accurate for 3 years, the Germans believe him. The message goes up the chain. Abwehr, German High Command, Hitler's headquarters. Now, watch how this plays out in real time. June 6, 3:15 a.m. General Jodl receives the intelligence report from Arabelle. He's Hitler's chief of operations. He reads it carefully. 50 divisions in England, waiting to invade Calais. Normandy is a diversion. Jodl knows Hitler is sleeping, has given explicit orders not to be woken except for extreme emergencies. But Jodl also knows Hitler trusts Arabelle's intelligence more than anyone else's. He makes a decision. He'll wait for Hitler to wake up naturally, then present Arabelle's report first thing. June 6, 6:30 a.m. The sun rises over Normandy. Allied forces are hitting the beaches. Omaha, Utah, Gold, Juno, sword. German defenders are fighting desperately, calling for reinforcements, specifically requesting the Panzer divisions stationed near Calais. Those divisions could reach Normandy in 12 hours, could potentially drive the Allies back into the sea. But the orders to move those divisions must come from Hitler personally. 10 a.m. Hitler finally wakes up. His staff briefs him. The Allies have landed in Normandy. Heavy fighting. American and British forces establishing beachheads. It's a feint. Arabelle says the real invasion is coming at Calais. Hold the reserves. Think about this. Hitler has multiple intelligence sources. His own generals are on the phone screaming that Normandy is the invasion. He believes Juan, a Spanish chicken farmer he's never met. And Germany's most powerful armored divisions, the 15th Army, including elite panzer units, stay exactly where Juan told them to wait. The 15th Army. Roughly 150,000 soldiers, 600 tanks, artillery, the best equipped German force in France, all of them sitting in Calais, waiting for an invasion that exists only in Juan's imagination. For weeks after D-Day, they stay there, even as Normandy falls, even as Allied forces break out into France. The Germans keep significant reserves at Calais because Arabelle keeps insisting, the main invasion is still coming. It never comes. By the time the Germans realize Normandy is the invasion, it's too late. The Allies have established an unbreakable foothold. Millions of troops are pouring into France. Historians will later calculate Juan's deception saved approximately 10,000 Allied lives on D-Day alone, maybe more in the weeks after. By keeping German reserves away from Normandy, he gave the Allies time to build up forces without facing Germany's best divisions. July 1944. Nazi Germany awards Juan Pujol García the Iron Cross, second class, one of their highest military honors. The citation praises Agent Arabelle as a model of dedication and courage in service to the Reich. Hitler himself approves the commendation, signs off on it personally. Think about the absurdity of this moment. Hitler is giving a medal to the man who just destroyed his best chance of winning the war. The Iron Cross typically requires extraordinary courage in combat, but Arabelle never fired a shot, never risked his life in battle. His courage consisted of sitting in an English office, typing lies that killed German soldiers. The medal ceremony doesn't happen in person, obviously. Juan can't exactly fly to Berlin to collect it, so the Germans send the medal through neutral channels. It arrives in a small box with an official letter of commendation. Juan opens it, looks at the Iron Cross, the swastika gleaming in the light. He'll never wear it, but he keeps it, because it's proof of the most elaborate con in military history. Meanwhile, across London, another ceremony is happening. November 1944, Buckingham Palace. King George VI awards Juan the Order of the British Empire, MBE, member grade, civilian division. The citation is classified, doesn't mention D-Day, doesn't explain what Juan actually did, just says, for services to the nation. Juan shakes the king's hand. The king has no idea he's honoring a man who also received honors from Hitler. Later, Juan will be one of only a handful of people in history to receive military decorations from both sides of a war. But here's the dark irony. Both sides gave him medals for the same achievement. Germany, for providing invaluable intelligence about Allied invasion plans. Britain, for providing invaluable misinformation about Allied invasion plans. Same work, opposite interpretations. Juan collects both medals, puts them in a drawer, rarely looks at them, because medals don't erase what this life cost him. But there's a cost nobody talks about. Juan's first wife, Araceli Gonzalez, helped him in the early days, back in Lisbon. When he was running his one-man show from a library, she acted as courier, typed coded messages, helped maintain the cover story, risked her own safety. After the war, their marriage falls apart. Imagine being married to someone who lies professionally every day for years. 1949. Juan stages his own death. He tells friends he's sick with malaria, travels to Angola, then dies. The announcement appears in newspapers. Fake death certificate, fake burial. In reality, Juan moves to Venezuela. lives under an assumed name, cuts ties with almost everyone from his old life. For decades, the world thinks Juan Pujol García is dead. He runs a bookstore in Caracas, a quiet life. Nobody knows the bookseller with the slight Spanish accent once tricked Hitler. But in the 1980s, a historian tracking down D-Day veterans finds him, still alive, still sharp. Juan gives interviews, writes a memoir. The world finally learns his story. He dies in 1988, age 76, in Venezuela, far from the battlefields he influenced without ever firing a shot.